would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. We are in contact. I also pay respect to the land. Jagalong, are there any disclosures to do? Someone like to read the exception to those apologies. All in favour? Those against? Carried. Confirmation of the minutes. The minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Wednesday, June the 29th, 2016, of the secretary be confirmed and signed as the record of the meeting proceedings of the meeting. Someone like to move the adoption of those? Councillor Murray. Second. We now have a public access meeting. We have addressing the council would be Karen McKay. Karen is going to talk on Cummins. That's just business. She's speaking on Cummins Street Review. So I welcome Karen to the podium. Would you stand?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Karen McKay. I'm here on behalf of my husband, Craig, and myself. We're just here today to ask for the Collingwood Street Review to be included in the maintenance schedule for the Tenterfield Shire Council. We haven't been with them since 2005. We put in our employment development application to the council in 2004, and our house was finished in 2005. We've been living there happily ever since. What we're wanting is a trafficable all-weather street access to our home. There have been times in the past in 2008 where our street deteriorated so badly that we weren't able to even access our home in that street. Council did undertake something like our rules at that time and did put some gravel on the street. That's 8 years ago now. We haven't had any maintenance to the street at all since then. It does have usage by ourselves and also neighbours alongside us. It is directly behind the review hall, so we do have some access for people who access the back before, which is quite a number of people and visitors to the Shire, particularly over the summer months. We have any number of caravanners, etc., coming to behind the hall. Our street is visible from all parts of the view because it is down behind the shop and the hall. So we have any visitors to the Shire as well as all residents, do see the state of the street. So it's not really good for the Shire, as well as the access issues that we face. At the moment, the street is back down to dirt in some areas. So I'm just concerned that it might get to the stage that it did in 2008 where it wasn't accessible for us at all. I do have some photos on my iPad. I don't know if I'm around. Is that all right? If anyone is interested to see. Yeah, sure. I have to go back to work. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. We enjoy living in Lagoon and in residents for much longer. So we just like to see some maintenance done on our streets so that we have an accessible street in the village. There are some drainage issues as well that goes along with the maintenance of the street. Just ending on a positive note, we are very happy with the council providing the wheelie bin road. We're all in favour of having that service for ourselves and for any future residents to the Shire. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you for
Okay. So today I wanted to talk to you all about the for the future drive resubmission which the general manager has put on. So, Mr. Mayor, elected community representatives, staff and guests, while I realise there is very little opportunity to amend today's attachment one for the fifth for future drive resubmission, there are several matters which cause me significant concern, particularly for the lifestyle and financial viability for our ratepayers. There are some excellent matters included in the draft resubmission, which I'll refer to at the end. The Fit for the Future template notes the Council has until the 30th of June 2025 to achieve the benchmarks, and IPART have included the financial assistance grants in the calculation of unenforced revenue result. Both of these state directions give Tenterfield Council time to continue the ongoing cost containment and continue to improve financial sustainability without having to maximise revenue or increase charges by 40%, which then means more mandatory charges imposed on ratepayers. I asked councillors and the General Manager to review how the actions in the council documents are to be implemented operationally, and possibly to develop policies to ensure aspects such as prior surveys, prior consultation, focus on non-mandatory services, and remembering that increasing revenue and dividends paid to council actually means increasing the payments which ratepayers are forced to pay via their annual wage bills. The state intention of improving financial sustainability of councils is not intended, I don't think, to be achieved by damaging the financial stability of the area's ratepayers, who also have to find sufficient financial resources to cover all the other government agencies who are also trying to maximise their revenue and profit. State legislation, standards and guidelines emphasise prior consultation, councillors being aware of the cumulative effect of their decisions, and the charges imposed on the community must relate to reasonable expenditure. Rate increases are separately subject to state controls, as we all know. The lack of any community workshops, surveys or engagement programs for this Fit for the Future draft resubmission compounds a similar process lack to the 16-17 integrated claiming process and mandatory curbside collection charge for ratepayers along Mount Windsor Road, resulting in the ratepayers being considered to be bound by these documents despite having very limited opportunity for timely anticipation and feedback. I realise that this is complicated by the fact that the new general manager and he hasn't had the time to do all this. This does not seem to be what was intended by state legislation and guidelines. As the general manager has stated in the draft resolution, the council is responsible for allocating the appropriate resources to deliver council's improvement program and action plan. And this document includes action plans up to and including the 30th of June 2020. I think this is too long a period for such a statement to develop, especially with the new council being elected this year for the period to 2020. The responsibilities of providing resources, as stated, should only be for the current financial year with review after the new council is appointed. The frequency of reporting should be aligned to the existing quarterly and monthly performance review, and I suggest the responsibility statement could be amended to say, to add, for 2016-17 through the standard annual, quarterly and monthly budget review and integrated planning and reporting processes. This amendment might avoid any expectation that officers continue operational activity without coming back to council for specific approvals from now until June 2020. Yeah, thank you. The action plans included in this draft resubmission focus on increasing revenue, improving council's profit margin, and reducing real expenditure across all council fees and charges, including paying dividends to council for water, sewage, sale yards, and waste funds. These action plans mean ratepayers face increased charges over and over again, especially where service charges are mandatory. While council does have the power to force ratepayers to pay pretty much whatever charges they decide to impose, does not always mean it is fair and reasonable, especially where each rate notice increases by more than CPI or where affected ratepayers' needs or preferences aren't known. There are some excellent matters included in the future document, including the removal of a 3% per annum special rates variation, tentative council claim for the period 1 July 19 to 30 June 2025 from all council documents. The ongoing program of cost containment and reduced increases in operating expenses, which, as the General Manager has said, has contributed to the improved financial results already achieved, and also investigation into shared services to reduce expenditure and improve service delivery. That's all right. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to stand and welcome Peter Reid.
Thank you, Councillor Shipman and Acting Mayor, and welcome to Town Planning. In the council report today, there is two documents, the 4316 and 4516, which talk about the Tourism Information Centre attendance. It's increased 2% over the last 12 months, and at a cost of the visitor centre cost $114,000 to run during that time. The initial motion put up by councillors was to provide a cost-effective alternative, and surely compared to the $30,000 that the TDBA asked for, $114,000 doesn't sound like to me to be cost-effective. Also, it doesn't include the payment of salary staff, such as the General Manager, Director of Strategic Planning, and all of the other professional staff of council in that, which was certainly substantial in terms of time. So it really doesn't reflect the total cost of the community of the changeover. Especially, it doesn't comment on the loss of social capital through the change of personalised criticism that occurred. And that is the loss of the volunteers who were working there, who were disenfranchised by that intense criticism. And several of the volunteers are here today, and they have dispersed. Another loss to the community has been through, in the case of 209, I was able to direct visitors to the centre where they could purchase artefacts, talk about our sister city relationship, and also people like Teddy Hine, who grew up in Tenterfield, went on to become a professor at Yale, and developed a little hard point. So there's stories like that that were on display and there for people to see. And we lost a source of income that visitors would contribute to our community when they went there to buy artefacts and so on. I guess the story of how this happened, somebody will write a book about it, probably at the time it is, but it certainly was pretty much by intense criticism from several local residents that brought it about. And I would like to also mention a letter that was written by the TDBA indicating the problem of communication between the committee and council, where the councillor involved told that committee on two occasions that they had the full support of the councillor, but then when voting occurred in council, that councillor did not support the actions of the TDBA. The other thing I would like to mention is not all the evidence that was available was considered by councillors. Two things. One was a map, and contained in that was a whole series of photographs of information about the northern part of the Shire, because one of the criticisms of the TDBA was that not all of the information in the northern part of the Shire was being talked about, but there was a fair amount of evidence there that to the contrary. The other item I would like to draw your attention to is the petition that's been signed by 1,500 residents to the effect that, and I'll just read out a couple of the key bits, that its current structure has demonstrated to be cost effective and provided a significant public service and good to the community of Townsville and Civilian District. And it was then suggested the conservative estimate for upgrading and council taking over would be in the vicinity of $120,000. And it now appears that it's cost us $140,000 in real terms, but and that doesn't include all those other costs. However, I'm sure that the current VIC, which is now staffed and managed by council, will develop, if it hasn't already done so, into an effective communication process for visitors that go to that centre, and I'm sure that the volunteers there will gain the full support of the community, and I'm sure that there will be other volunteers that will participate as well and fill the gap. Those people probably in the short term weren't directly affected, but it certainly has been a cost to the community, that transition. However, from my point of view, we're certainly moving on. The two community organisations, TAPAR and the TDBA, have been dissolved and in the process of moving their assets into a Chamber of Commerce, which has been registered, and that will be up and running, or is running. It's a steering committee, and there's a board involved, developed. There's a very effective again, the constitution that's been developed over by 250 other chambers across the state is in use, and that will be the backbone for the chamber locally. It has a board, a lot of technical work gone into developing it. We have a wonderful advisor, Jay Townsend, that comes up from Tamworth, that helps out and will provide resources to businesses of all sorts, tourism, industry, and the commercial centres, provide legal information for free to those members. It will cost $100 for a business member. That was recently decided to be our annual cost. It is available for everybody to join. Good luck to councillors in their forthcoming leave.
Now, before we move on to the report of the community development, yes,
I'd like to correct something. Concern is by council estimate petition. Concern that is my understanding is that the estimate was contained in the petition, not the council. The council estimate was calculated.
Thank you, Madam
Okay, thank you, Nolan.
Can you repeat that, Madam Chair?
Finally, no problem. Is there any council that wishes to put recommendation?
Through you, Madam Chair, one of the screen is a reflection of the minutes of the council, so if councillors believe this point doesn't reflect what I've spoken about, then it's certainly starting to follow what's up there, or the exceptions of the council. As I said, my personal preference would be to resolve. So that includes some response like that. That's a decision.
On the grounds that we don't include. I'm sorry. Sorry. On the grounds that we don't, as a rule, include the council discussion. No. We only move the actual. Yes. So, very difficult. If we just put the name of the speaker and the topic on the slide, then when the minutes are published, community administrator will contact speakers and all that.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor Mark. I will second that motion. Thank you, Councillor. Has anyone else got anything to add to that? Thank you, Noel. Okay. Well, I'll get that motion. I'll put that motion of Councillor Hall to you with that. The speaker's name will be included, in the report, and that's accepted by Councillor Ray. All in favour? All in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. Those against? 2 against. The motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you. Before we're going further, it's rather remiss of me to welcome the structure to our council meeting. We do welcome you and we welcome the thank you. Now we move on to the reports. I'm going to page 7, Delegates report, the National General Assembly of Local Government. Item 52, 816.
Madam Chair, could we move in, that's the motion about the road corridor, in Article 16 to now?
Yes, what item is it?
Madam Chair, I believe Councillor Terry's motion is standing voice and the notice motion. Moving over to Stephen Clark.
I guess I'm going to be saying, moved by Councillor Mary, seconded by Councillor Lowe. All in favour? Those against? So this is Councillor Mary, you are the member of this item, is NM8, that given the council very probably noticed that we the following motion of the meeting to become on Wednesday, 27th of July. That Commonwealth Street review between High Street and Union Street be formed into a whole other street and also be included in the road labelling schedule. Would you like to speak on that?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll move the motion.
And seconded?
Okay. This was first brought to our attention, or my attention last progress meeting. But prior to that, I think Karen has been talking to the mayor about it, and the mayor tried to do something about it during the normal process. By speaking to the engineer at the time, I don't know which engineer it was. And over the years, this has been put off. It's been it's just sort of been lost in the process somewhere along the line. So I thought the only way to get it done would be moved up the chain and by leaving a motion rather than doing a council action request. Now, this is a letter from Ralph Stropper to Karen McKay, 20 September 2012. So it goes back a while. Thank you for your email, and I apologise for the delay in responding. Gary Turning, I presume, and I inspected the road a couple of weeks ago, but we do not believe it requires urgent attention. We have listed on our program to do at a later date, once another more urgent work is completed. At this time, we're unable to advise when that may be, but we will schedule the work when the plan in the vicinity of the Lagoon. That was 3 years ago and hasn't happened yet, so I'm presuming it should go for a good change a bit. It's a street in the middle of the town. It's only a dirt track, as you can see by the photograph Karen supplied us with. And it's not a good look at the shop. Have that type of street in the town. Just gravel up and turn a bit more of a street. It goes right through from Toulouse Street, it goes right through to where the council depot is when you first come into the Lagoon. That's not us. That's meant to be done because that's what you discuss into the 2 blocks or block, whatever it is, to the just the street rather than the track. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Berry.
Yes, I'd just like to reiterate, I spent a whole day once at the hall, all day, and I can bear witness to the amount of traffic that passes over that dirt track, including a lot of caravans, and people have to stop there too. So it's, as well as not being a formed road, and I understand that's a legacy issue, which perhaps should have been attended to when the DA was granted. But certainly it is well used, but it's not a good look, I guess, that for visitors and tourists who want to pull up and stop or who want to pass through, and for people using the back of the hall.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. You have the notice of motion in front of you, councillors. We'll now vote on it. Those in favour?
Against?
No, certainly.
I'm opposing it on the ground. I'm opposing it on the grounds of nothing to mention, and it should come back to council. I have no idea the cost of this. Many roads throughout the council are indicated not disputing the fact that this particular point out. But I hate to refer to the look. There are lots of roads out there, tourist roads that do not do. So in that sense, I say it should come back to council.
I apologise to Councillor Murray. It's certainly my own report. Is there anyone? Yes, Councillor. You wish to speak for me?
I consider benefits. I consider benefits the value of information. And certainly we grow in our shire. However, obviously, in terms of planning and marketing, this will have to be a long-term issue, certainly not in the current budget, but next year's budget. Can I suggest that perhaps reviewing might look to find what's happened with Drake and Bougainville, and perhaps look at how they want this to be a longer term, rather than just fix up. But I don't think, as Councillor Murray, so I don't think this is the right way.
Thank you, Councillor Hull. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this? Sorry? Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this? Councillor Baker.
I think it's just, that's short bit around the way for the question to be done, I don't think it's that big a drama to get in and do it. So, I think you have to even look at things that come to their attention. Think the street needs to up, why don't you do it? Have to spend money somewhere else. The change around when it comes to another council meeting, this and that, all the expense and the else, just you can do it, so right, it's all. So, the engineer thinks that, I think that's up to you. I think it's, you've got to get in get these things done. We're going to have to down for 12 months, we'll have to get done by 2020.
Thank you. Before I go to Councillor Murray, Councillor Murray, do you request, would you like to that
That's really, Madam Chair, it sounds like Councillor Murray was talking about proposing that a report, such a report will go back to council on the issue, so it's amended, it's not changing actual resolutions, just saying to give one more information, so. Yes.
Thank you. That's what I'd like to do.
would someone second that amendment? Councillor Ward? Before, can we talk to Councillor Murray?
Three, Madam Chair, so the process is now, you're actually now, the amendment comes forward, so you're now about to debate the amendment. If the amendment is carried, then it becomes a substantive motion. If the amendment is lost, you return to the original motion, which councillor Murray will have the right to apply. As we now on the amendment, it takes.
Would anyone like to speak on the amendment? Or Councillor Murray?
I'd like to speak against the amendment. I don't think it's necessary. I'd just like to ask the engineer the approximate cost of doing about 100 metres of road. And it's not a road, actually, it's a street right in the middle of the village. It should be given priority. Thank you.
That cost will be determined after the because clearly it's not only the construction, clearly the rates, also provision of drains and other lighting construction as well. So you could be looking in the order of $1,000 plus to construct the sewer road for that sort of work. And then you've got the ongoing maintenance costs.
Thank you, your engineers. We're now going to anyone wish to speak? We're going to vote on the amendment. Those in favour of the amendment? 1, 2, 3. Those against the amendment? 4.
Yes, I'm of the opinion when you get a stream in the middle of the village, that when this road should have been done was when the DA was initially, I think it was 2004 that the DA was initially granted or asked for. But I believe the road should have been looked at there and then, and this shouldn't be an issue now. It's just a legacy from our past council, and we should give it priority. I'm not saying we're going to do it this financial year, I'm just saying it should be in the budget to do ASAP.
Thank you, Councillor Berry. Those last 4 hands, we can show in favour of the motion. The Commonwealth Street between Kalani Street and Jerome Street before moving all Weather Street will be included in the road maintenance schedule. Those in favour, show of hands. Those against? Motion is carried. All in favour? Thank you. Now, yes. Page 8. Seven. Delegate report.
Thanks, Madam Chair, for review. I'll just speak ever so briefly to the General General Assembly. Each of the details of main items and speakers from the conference. I just draw council's attention to a couple of items. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of the leaders of major parties at which took a little bit away. A couple of major items that were there is the Australian Government's board strategic plans adopted as outlined in the report. There's 6 big pillars to progress with that. It seems like it's a pretty pointed plan, and all of our people go as far as referring them to our local federal member and others trying to push the causes of Australian Local Government Association. They include such things as restoring annual indexation to financial assistance grants, increasing the quantum back to 1%, which is what it was originally, and financial assistance grants came in, targeted spending on national growth strategy around productivity, and the permanent doubling of rates to recovery. I think it's pretty standard common base for all councils across Australia. The other item that was there was the regional report, which has some quite information in it for Western Australia, and largely pointed out that it's really crucial that nationally we start to get a policy in place that deals with regional development. And it might be striking some people who know that currently there is not one. It's not a comprehensive policy on development. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, General Manager. This is moving this report, MM 2-16. Someone might move it on. Try to move it. Thank you. Recommendation. All in favour of the report being received from the National General Secretary of Local Government. All in favour? Those against? Now, we move now to item here, 039-96, which is the program resubmission. This report by our General Manager. Someone move the adoption of this report.
As review, and so quickly, the report as is and the attachment that goes with it. Obviously, we've spoken about the plan, the public generally. Just to note, the council was notified a little over 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago now, and this submission process was in place, which was expected to reply to it. Thankfully, that got extended by a fortnight. Space, but there's been some excellent work done by senior staff putting together the resolution. I commend it as it is, and I think it will be viewed favourably by the assembly.
Thank you very much, General Manager. And I thank him for not only the work council and directors that we put into the workshop, for our council. And then we're on to item GM 040-116. Yes, Councillor.
May I ask a question of the General Manager in relation to this, please? It's under objective 1, it's item 1.3. I know a key milestone is to implement a council efficiency program, innovation fund, and one of the key milestones, annual expenditure reduction dividend determined and achieved. I am assuming that you mean dividend in the technical sense of an amount of money, just as the possibility of a dividend being paid from the sale yards is included. You're not using this in a generic sense like, or you are. Could you please clarify?
Chair. Two questions there I'll answer separately. The first one is the efficiency program reduction dividend. Obviously, using language, efficiency dividends is just basically where you look to pay your costs to pay dividends. So you say, state government will say we want an efficiency dividend of 5% for the departments this year. It means that they need to save 5% out of their expenditure. So it's just the use of the term means the reduction of expenditure, dividend as far as our share markets. Probably just important to clarify with the sales, ensure that what we actually say in there is think about the ability to work towards dividends for water and sewer, not the waste, not the sales. In fact, the sales outcome, was for us to look to is for improved asset renewal profit margin improvement. So we're looking to look at that unit as far as increasing renewal expenditure rather than as such being included except with this conversations around what that can only be achieved once you get the approval of the department, state department of water, and you have to go through a rigorous process to happen and show that you're fully sustainable moving forward. It's not uncommon that having that majority of council region be deriving dividends from that.
It does say that we could go moving to the sale yards, possible dividend payment of change, which I take to be, if it's possible, actual monetary dividend annually or whatever.
Through Madam Chair, there's possible because the conversation hasn't been had, and so there's a lot of humps for us to go through before that. You also have to show what you can do with those sorts of things. And third, it's not a dividend as such, it's risk essentially at the moment everything that goes into the sales operates as sales. In the longer term, you want to be in a position where you can make sure you need a dividend going back to a restricted asset to be able to fund your long-term very, very different. It reduces dividends. So the conversation is not where it happens.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any other questions from Councillor Strategy?
Just a comment. I'm pleased to see the members of the public are actually looking at the future. Because in the past, it sort of hasn't happened when we had our meetings. That we actually know who's interested. But it's really pleasing to see that some people are interested.
Very good comment. Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions to AGM or any other comments? Now, all in favour of the report being received? Those against? We move now to item GM 038-116, Councillor Resolution Register. I apologise on this one. Item GM 040-116. Item please. Councillor May, Councillor Ford.
Through you, Madam Chair, I was looking at the report, it says, what, it's the annual conference, the LGNSW, held in October in Wollongong, this year.
Thank you, GM. All those in favour of the recommendation of the report of the executive officer, the mayor and general manager of the council. All in favour? Oh, sorry. Councillor Larry?
With this, conference, are we going to put any motions forward? Or is that, up to us later on to do that?
Pretty much, Chair. Yes, council can, nominate motions, we have got that. Yes, there are no updates. In March, that'll be a process for council, to put forward any motions that we may want to place on the agenda for them.
Councillor Larry?
Yes, the cut-off date is before our next council meeting. It's close of business Monday, the 27th of August.
So,
I was really motions as council, it's prior to our next council meeting.
so what you're saying,
So,
if
so,
Councillor Larry saying that if motion is approved, then we're going to have another meeting.
loads to answer a question.
Yes, I know.
There's a number of ways we can deal with that, and council have motions that they want to consider. Right now, they can raise that in the minutes report. Similarly, we generally deal with that in the environment anyway, because of the, to discuss, and you don't have to actually resolve to pass a motion or a motion to LGNSW, so it can come from the workshop. Whether council wants to convene a workshop to craft those motions, we can consider something today, but at this point, I'm not in receipt of any correspondence with regards to motions.
Thank you, Julian. Councillor Larry, do you wish to put? All those in favour of the report? Those against? We move on to item GM 038-116, council resolution register. I'll hand over to General Manager.
Through Madam Chair, resolution registers as point. We welcome any questions from myself or senior staff or any items.
All those in favour of the resolution, are there any questions? All those in favour? All those against? We now move on to item 019-16, budget rebates for 2016. I'll ask Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you. Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Okay, each year, council budget ceases that 30th of June, and if we have uncommenced works or works that have been contracted out, not commenced, then we need to, the make them be included in our resolution. Any other projects or expenditures where we haven't commenced, we want conduct the review, we have to move back. So this
Thank you, Mr. Shorter. Are there any questions for Mr. Shorter? No questions? I'll put this report to council. All those in favour? Against? I'll ask Mr. Short.
Again, through Madam Chair, the monthly financial report, as per usual, we have about $11.75 million in terms of deposits. And on the interest rate, very about 2.8%, about 2.94%. But loans that are investments, and they deal with multi-rate. So, and just to comment on the loan matters, I'm happy to say that all of those matters have hopefully now been resolved from council's point of view. And received some payments and dividends in June and early July. Those matters are now finalised. Been going on since about 2008.
Fantastic. Fantastic as well. Thank you very much. All those in favour of receiving the report? Against? Now move on to item CRR 21-16, postal expenditure report. Can I have a representative of this report, please? Mr. Alex Shaw.
Madam Chair, is basically expenditure of capital expenditure report for the year, it's fairly explanatory.
Are there any questions to our finance manager? All those in favour of the report being adopted? Against? Carried. Now move on to item CRR 22-116, report on loan balances. Oh. Move and second. Councillor Lane. Councillor Taylor.
Through you, Madam Chair, report on loan balances show we've got about $5.088 million in loans at the moment. Yeah, and one of the page from 5 indicates $7.6 million, paid to be $1 a day. The loan summary will change next year. We have a new loan, that's included loan. And interesting to see the interest rates vary on our loans, and it's as shown in the loan summary. We're at 3.7%. The last one we got, actually upgraded to 9.2, which is the loan which we had in 2000.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart, very much. All those in favour of the document report? Those against? Carried. Now move on to item ENG 26-115. Can I have a move for this? And I hand over to our engineering director.
Madam Chair, council during this meeting, the operational plan on council. Historically, council has considered council program after adoption of the operational plan. In regards to the allocation of funds or projects, council would be aware that we have our road network asset management plan, which basically sets the guide for the way funding is distributed to projects. So basically, everything we do is in accordance with the asset management plan. The projects that you see before you today is a composition of those projects identified in the schedules, plus also any issues that have been identified through inspections. There are a number of projects in here where we've got bridges that point collapse, holes, causeways that point collapse, where if funding is not allocated this year, then significant management processes will need to be put in place. We'll have restrictions and results to limit traffic over the piece of infrastructure. Of note, the funding that we have this year, we have
1.708 in country funding. That has been slightly reduced from what was previously by the federal government, but that reduction is coming over into next year. Primarily due to local government generally spend on the money in one year, which is partly true. So it's been reduced, but the good news is whatever we don't get this year gets carried over next year, so that's fine. We have SRB funding, or the special rate variation funding, totaling $524,000, which is split under reseals, causeways, and resheeting. And we have repair funding, and for the benefit of the council, the repair funding comes from state government RMS, and it's allocated to work specifically on regional roads. Council will be aware that in December 2014, I think the council adopted a 4-year program, the repair program, and allocated funding for 2 projects only. That was on Amosville Road and Mount Lindsay Road. This year, Mount Lindsay Road is solid end, still ends, and the gravel will be still about 2. In the program, we've attempted to spread the money across the entire shire, so that ratepayers can see that they're only spent in 20 grants. I think we've done very well with the funding that we actually have. I do need to point out that there are some big allocations in there for bridge replacement and also replacement. And I'll highlight the fact that if those aren't done soon, we may lose those structures. Some notable projects we have, bridges with Bureau Creek Road and Heritage Lane. Causeways, we have replacements at Bureau Creek Road and Sawyers Gully Road, that's quite expensive. Also that one, the length, cost, and road construction, we have Mount Lindsay Road, which is something that's pointed out before, and obviously some money allocated to Mount Lindsay Road as a result of the decision made the last council meeting, where council resolved to allocate $200,000. I won't speak any more in regards to time. I'll hand over to council.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Are there any questions for our director?
Madam Mayor. Oh, yeah, Madam Deputy Mayor. To the Director of Engineering. SRB, you have an actual list of how many kilometres of road or what we're able to do with the SRB. I think that'd be a good selling point, actually. Through you, Chair. Each year, council does to the council information report to identify where the money has actually gone. Those reports actually indicate the length of road or whatever other activities are sort of taken, but certainly that can be done throughout the year. Again, I'll take advice from our general manager on that one as to whether that might like to come forward, but we do actually do that. Yeah, I'm not aware of doing it. I just wanted to, I think it's a good selling point that people see the actual jig something for their race and put it in the news paper or whatever. It drives home the point that actually getting something for their money.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's great.
Thank you, Julie. I think that answers your question, Councillor. Are there any further questions? Councillor Lowe.
Just a clarification for me, please. When I look at the figures, this is relative to the recovery. Yes, thank you through you, Madam Chair, to the Director of Engineering. the roads to recovery for each financial year, the amount decreases. I'm assuming, and we go back finally to the 740,000, which is what we get every year, that is because of the carryover in the initial years when it wasn't spent. Am I right?
Through you, Chair, parliamentary council receives our actual tax on that. Council will be aware that last year, the federal government decided to apply the growth index or QXOS to roads to recovery, and there was a quadrupling of the roads to recovery. So there's an immediate import of roads to recovery. That's 4 times the amount of the annual roads to recovery amount. Carry out nothing to do with roads to recovery. In the amount that you get per year, you get an amount of a 4-year window, and you spend it over that 4 years to find out. We try to carry out each financial year. However, saying that there are times when it's the impact of program. By and large, $740,000 a year for roads to recovery, which has been changed in recent times because of the generosity of the federal government being able to use more money.
Thank you very much. Are there any more questions for our director? Then I'll ask for a show of hands. Report to be adopted. All in favour? Those against? Carried. Okay. How's everyone feel about it? We're right, council. We're right for what it's.